Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons having anything to do before the Honorable Beverly Cannoni, the Justice of the Superior Court, holding in Dedham within and for the County of Norfolk. Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is in session. Please be seated.
Today, Jen McCabe
back on the stand and grilled.
Continue her cross-examination.
Very different than the last time you saw Alan Jackson crossing Jen McCabe just a couple days ago.
Yes, I'm fired up today. Alan Jackson got in there, masterful job on the cross-examination.
AJ went back to his corner. He went back to his corner and he listened to his coaches. I love it. They helped him correct for the next round.
JM was doing good, but then she lost it at the end.
At 5:07 a.m., you called over to 34 Fairview, didn't you?
Oh.
If it's in my phone record, then I must have.
It shows also that call lasted 38 seconds, correct?
I'm not sure what it shows.
You actually spoke to your sister, Nicole, that morning?
What? I did not speak to my sister, no.
So that
All lasted 38 seconds, but they didn't speak.
How do I not remember this from last time? Because I don't remember this at all.
Like, this is the biggest bombshell, I think, that they missed. They had this information at the last trial and they just missed it. They had her phone extraction. It was there the whole time. They didn't just find this. They missed this.
We know she called at 6:07, but did we know that she called at 5:07, which would have been right after she heard from Karen?
That changes everything. A 38-second phone call to Nicole Albert that she answered at 5:07.
Chat, I think this is new info too. Second trial, new trial, who this?
We are all kind of wondering, why in the hell wouldn't you call 34 Fairview? Why wouldn't you call your sister and your brother-in-law?
If you're trying to say we're doing everything we can to find John O'Keefe, why aren't you telling anyone that you called 34 Fairview?
It's kind of not surprising that she called. What's surprising is why in the hell she left it out.
Ma'am. What?
So that changes everything. It shows that Nicole and Brian were awake at 5:07, so they wouldn't be sleeping when she got there at 6 o'clock.
You're on the phone with 34 Fairview for 38 seconds, and then when you got there, they still didn't come out of the house? That's way fucking worse than they didn't come out of the house when there were just like lights and sirens and shit.
That's what's odd.
It was a chaotic morning.
It was a chaotic day. I selectively remember phone calls. It seems that you have a history of selectively remembering phone calls. Because when the motherfucking FBI was at your door and they said, who did you speak to in the 10 minutes? The 10 minutes from when we said we wanted to speak to you and you let us into your house, who did you speak to? And you forgot 3 whole ass phone calls to Brian Albert, to the DA's office, and to the victim's mother.
I remembered the waterfall.
You called the waterfall?
Julie, then Tom Beatty. Calling to my sister.
You called the waterfall?
Wasn't as important ingrained in my mind at that point.
I do not remember this from last time.
You testified at a grand jury, not hours or days later. You testified at a grand jury months later, correct?
Correct.
And at that grand jury, you also left out the fact that you contacted your sister, correct?
There's nothing nefarious. I remembered who I called. I remembered who I called.
What?
I didn't go back and look at phone records.
Nefarious?
Why would you use the word nefarious?
Because
She's like, what are you talking about this phone call? There's nothing nefarious going on there. He's like, I didn't say it was nefarious.
Because there's nothing about me calling my sister that is nefarious, and I feel like you're insinuating it might be, and it's not.
Why? What do you mean you're insinuating it might be?
In her over-explaining, she hands Jackson the word nefarious. She just hands it to him. She just gives it to him on a platter, and he's like,
why did you say it was nefarious? As if Jackson hasn't been implying everything that she's doing is nefarious and suspect.
There's nothing nefarious about me calling my sister. Who said it was nefarious?
the thing is that Jackson couldn't have said, hey, that's nefarious.
Why are you oh dude, what a mistake that was for her to introduce that.
But once she gives him nefarious, once she serves that up, he's like, oh, we're eating. We're gonna have a whole big meal of nefarious.
He's like, "Whoa, why would you say I said that?" It's like, come on, man. We all get what you're doing, but he's saying, you know it's nefarious. You know it sounds bad, and you've got to explain to this jury why it's not bad.
Again, she talks too much. She thinks she can talk her way out of anything. That was a big mistake saying
that. Why would you say nefarious?
The third from the bottom text on the second page, in other words, the top text on the page, was from your sister to you. We'll get more info, TOMM, correct?
Yes.
Don't want to text about it, correct?
Yes.
Huh.
TOMM means tomorrow?
Yes.
You know who didn't think we should not text this? Trooper Proctor. Put all that shit in the text. There's a reason they don't want to text, is his insinuation. I know the younger generations that don't want to talk on the phone are going to learn, watch trial, and learn how screwed you can be by your texts. They will get taken out of context in court. Things that might have other meaning, like I have other uses for your throat, will be made to look differently in court. I mean, we'll laugh about it, but bring back the phone call.
This is February 1st at 12:50.
So this is about 3 days after the event in question.
February 1st is the day that Karen was arrested. February 2nd is the day of her arraignment in Stoughton District Court.
Yes.
What does that text say?
Julie said Channel 4 is in D&E.
They go through a bunch of their texts. They discuss Channel 4 being at D&E. Talk to them. Go talk to the cops. Find out what's going on. Get information.
Eating, I assume. Ask Chris to ask some questions. Tell them the guy never went into the house.
Matt McCabe says to Chris and Jen, I believe, tell them the guy never came in the house. Ask questions.
What are you going to ask them? Keep in mind, this is the same day that Channel 4 reported that Karen Reed was on Ring video hitting John O'Keefe with their car. Could Chris Albert have told them that to like make it seem like an open and shut case?
Yep. If she pleads out, it will end. If she fights it, it will be an episode.
Who's she?
I'm assuming that would be Miss Reed.
Next text, please.
Wow, I don't remember that one.
They've got some OMGs. They've got some, if she pleads out, it will end. If she fights it, it will be an episode.
Welcome
Next text,
to
please.
the episode, season 2, day 8.
She hasn't been arrested yet. How did Matt McCabe know she was going to be arrested? If she pleads out, say that, dude, that is so fucked up.
Who's this from and who's it to?
This is from Nicole to me, to Matt, and to Brian.
And what does this read?
She liked the text about
the previous text?
Yes.
Meaning like a thumbs up or a like?
By the way, you shouldn't like that text, but you should like this stream. Please hit the like button. It's much appreciated. And if you haven't, hit the subscribe button.
While Carrie Roberts is being interviewed,
Live texting the interview.
Who's this from and who's it to?
texts like you listening.
And what's the
Oh my
timestamp on
God.
this?
Are you listening?
Is 5:15.
This girl could write a book. I love it. She's telling them everything.
We only know about these calls because you're looking at an extraction of John O'Keefe's phone, correct?
Correct, but I also turned over my phone, so you could have gotten all of that off of my phone as well.
I don't know.
And you're
Could
well
we have?
aware that an extraction was done on your phone
Oh,
and not
boy.
one of those butt dials appears on your phone extraction, correct?
Butt dial.
Are you aware of that? I am not aware of that.
Next question. Well, let's show it to her.
How could she not be aware of it? It came out in the last trial.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, she's lying, and she deleted all of those phone calls.
But you're telling me, no, I did not call them. The records say that I did, but I didn't call them. My butt did. 7 times. in 19 minutes.
How can she possibly butt dial with such a flat ass? Hey, yo.
You know, the butt dials. It's just for me. It's just amazing the amount of. I want to say this, but I'm going to refrain from cursing. The amount of fuckery that's going on here, and I had to do it. I had to say it, is just off the charts.
But let's say hypothetically that is absolutely and unequivocally true. Does anyone believe you?
Did your anus delete the call?
Because you deleted them before you turned over your phone to the police.
Because we're getting to the point where your anus is very talented. Like, it should maybe be in a circus, because can it juggle?
7 times. Butt dialed 7 times in 19 minutes.
Like, what other tricks does it do? Does it throw knives?
The talented butts of Canton.
Crazy amount of telephone calls to John O'Keefe. And she claimed they were butt dials, right? She had, 7 unanswered butt dials that she said that occurred.
These are these butt dials. This is just Jen McCabe's butt dials. This isn't even getting to Higgins, Brian.
I do think the way she explained it, some jurors, like my dad butt dials all the time, some jurors may say, yeah, I get it. There's some butt dials. When you hear it once.
Wait till you hear the testimony about the butt dial that takes place during intimate actions.
But by the time all these witnesses are done, the amount of butt dials we hear is a lot harder to believe than just one butt dial.
You don't do multiple butt dials in a row. You just don't. Someone has to answer it.
And the butt hang up that takes place during intimate actions.
It's got to get disconnected. It's got to get disconnected.
Oh. All right. Back to the butt dial.
I think it's very common to do butt dials.
So, you have an iPhone.
Only in Canton is it this common.
When you...
Did someone fart? Did someone fart in court? Was that a fart? Was that a fart? Did someone fart? No, I'm not letting that slide. That was a fart. I have a 6-year-old boy in this house. I am not above calling out random farts that occur. That was a fart. Ready?
I remember you asking previously, yes.
When you...
I'm sorry. Someone else tell me what that is. That's not a chair squeak. That is not a squeaky chair. Squeaky butt, not a squeaky chair. That is not a squeaky chair. Paper flip? No. Nope. We get 2 sentences past the butt dials. No, it's not paper. Come on, that's not paper.
When you...
Play it a 3rd time. That's not paper. The paper has been flipped. When you... Boop. Just saying.
The last call, like since I had talked to John.
At this point, I would ask the court to instruct the witness to answer my question.
I believe she is. Go ahead and...
Wow, Judge Canoni.
Okay. Please approach, Your Honor, because the question was yes or no. The question is yes or no. She doesn't get to go off on a tangent and make a speech to bring out the talking points.
I believe she is. He's like, I don't fucking believe she is. I don't believe she is for a second. Because she wasn't. She was over talking him.
No, she wants to give her explanation to the jury and she wants to look right at him while she does it.
Ms. McCabe, answer only the question that's being asked of you, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Let's get into the noodly googly. Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Also, you guys can tell me what you do on your phones when you get into bed at 2 a.m.
Put up on your phone once you got upstairs.
It could have been Hockamuck Sports.
I'm sorry. I'm backing up foundation.
You're not going to convince me she does not know every single thing she did on Google.
So Google is a search engine. You use Google.
Possibly. I mean, that's just an expression, but I'm not, if you could show my record, I'm not sure what app I opened
Well,
or
Ms.
what.
McCabe, you've seen this record many, many times.
The apps
about that.
records don't seem to refresh her
early
anyway.
morning hours, correct? You know that it was a Google search. You don't have to be a phone expert to know that there was a Google search on your phone recovered at 2:27 in the morning. You know that, you've been told that, you've seen it, you've been asked about it dozens of times.
Well, I know I did Ozone and I did Hockamock Sports.
And I didn't ask
And
you
those
that.
were the only two things that I Googled.
Oh, girl. Oh, girl, no, that's not what he's asking. See, you're reading the intention and not the question. Because she's answering a question that he didn't ask. That's a terrible answer for her.
I didn't ask you what you Googled. I haven't gotten there yet. We're going to get there.
I bet we are, Jackson. We're going to get there slowly and somewhat painfully.
Your phone. Are you denying that you made a Google search at 2:27 a.m.?
If you could show me this Google search, I'd appreciate it.
This is fucking pain.
I have a moment.
Yes.
I don't understand this.
We need a quick minute to find a record that I did not think we were going to.
Yeah, this is Jackson. This is right here. I can sympathize. This is Jackson saying, I can't believe I can't get her to admit to the fact that there was a fucking search.
He's like, Your Honor, I can't believe that she's saying she wasn't using her phone at 2:27. This is so beyond stupid that she's saying she wasn't on her phone at this time that we didn't even have it pulled up because damn.
It's not one I remember making. I don't remember making it. I didn't make it.
It was offered in the Commonwealth's opening. It was offered with the expert prior to. It was offered everywhere else. But I can't get this lady to admit that there was a search performed at a given time that we all agree occurred at this fucking time.
She's going to the records now, but she's already established the records don't matter because she'll argue with the records when she doesn't like what they say.
She's insufferable. She's really, really insufferable. Is she going to lose it?
You will agree that there was a Google search done, and now I'm going to ask about the content of Hoslong to Die in Cold, correct?
Yep.
That was done in the morning at the request of Miss Reed.
McCabe, I didn't ask you that.
She keeps wanting to introduce stuff that he's like, I don't want you talking about this, but she's like, I want to say it.
You Google searched
Give me
the
that.
phrase Hoslong to Die in Cold. Yes or no?
Yes.
On January 29th, correct?
Yes.
Man alive. Oh my God. We have a yes or no question with a yes or no answer. Phenomenal.
So you agree that you were on Google, correct?
Yes.
You agree that there was a search done at 2:27 a.m., correct?
I don't recall doing a search at 2:27. The paper says it. I don't.
Okay. And you also agree that at some point that morning, you plugged into that phone Hoslong to Die in Cold. Is that right?
Again, the jury has to be stupid. I mean, how many times can she be confronted with her own cell phone evidence and be like, yeah, I don't know anything about that. All these calls, nope, didn't happen. How fucking, the last jury was clearly stupid. They fell for this shit.
Is that right?
Yes. After we found John O'Keefe.
Now you claim
Oh my God.
that was at 6:23 and at 6:24 in the morning, two iterations of how long to die in the cold. And the reason that you wanted another witness to back up that statement is because you knew that that Google search for Hoslong to Die in Cold points a very uncomfortable finger right toward you, correct?
I never did that search at 2:27. I never needed to instruct somebody. No, I'm sorry.
There's that apology again. Has someone told you that you need to apologize when you say
What did I say?
a question that you don't want to answer?
No,
Have you discussed this with anybody?
no, and that's not an uncomfortable question. I'm fine to answer it.
How many times did you say, I apologize yesterday in cross-examination?
I didn't count.
Josh, when you weren't here, we've been talking about that. I've been saying she's got her sorries and her thank yous all worked out.
They counted.
I'm just trying to answer the question.
He said more than 15. Never once has she apologized ever on the stand, ever. And they've got transcripts of her grand jury testimony. She's never apologized.
Have you ever been confronted with having deleted a Google search off your phone? You ever been asked that?
Yes, by you.
Do you deny that you deleted a Google search off your phone?
I never deleted a Google search off my phone.
So you
I
deny
never did that. I deny it, yes.
that you ever deleted a Google search?
Yes. I never made the search.
Foundation
I'd
established.
like to move back.
You did make the search.
Back
DJ is still on fire.
the time of about 6:03 in the morning, Ms. McCabe, when you, along with Carrie Roberts and Ms. Reed, approached 34 Fairview. You called 911 at about 6:03 and 35 seconds. Is that right? I don't expect you to know down to the second, but it was about a couple of minutes after 6.
Right after, yeah, we found him, yes.
And you're aware from the dash cam that Officer Seraph got there about 6:10, almost on the nose, right?
I didn't pay attention to the time.
You'll agree with me that it was about 6.5 minutes.
You called 911 at 6:03. That's time-stamped. Seraph arrived at around 6:10. That's time-stamped.
Or so between the time you called 911 and the time Officer Seraph got there. Is that right?
If that's what the dash cam says, yes.
On that 911 call, you referred to John O'Keefe as a man passed out in the snow.
A man passed out in the snow.
You didn't say, "This is my friend."
My dear friend.
I needed to get, like you said, emergency there. So
Did
I
you
wasn't
say,
going to
"This is
give
my
a
friend"?
I wasn't going to give a description and say my friend is in the snow.
Takes
I
the
was going
same
to give
amount
them
of
the
time.
information that I thought was the most important at the time.
Did
and
you say his name?
A man, my friend. Same amount of syllables.
Important identifying.
You didn't say John.
Eventually in the 911, I do say his name.
She does.
You didn't initially say O'Keefe, correct?
No, none of that matters. It was a man in the snow, and I
you
wanted
didn't say
help there.
And you didn't say he's a Boston police officer or an off-duty police officer.
So you determined what mattered? None of that matters. How do you are you a dispatcher at this point, ma'am?
Again, a man needed help.
Yes or no? Did you
No,
say that?
I didn't.
Do you think that might, yes or no? Do you think that might have sped things up if they knew, if the 911 operator knew that this was a fallen officer, a fellow officer?
I think 911 comes to everyone equally. I don't think they would have.
Do you think that might have been?
Oh, fuck off.
I don't think the jury believes you.
Listen. She's got family members that are in the Canton PD. She's got family members that were in the Boston PD. She knows this. What she's saying is horseshit.
If we are in the Boston area, just like in this area, you cannot tell me that you are dumb enough to know or to think that cops don't respond a little more aggressively and assertively and rapidly to a officer down call than any other fucking call.
I think 911 comes to everyone equally. No.
If you're a dear friend of a police officer and you have police in your family, you damn well know, lady, that if you call 911 and you say, I got a cop that's in trouble, I got a cop that was injured, I got a cop that's in an accident, 911 is going to step up.
I'm going to tell you, no. Like, if I say there's a homeless guy passed out on the, in the park, they will get there in like 45 give a shits. If I say that there's a police officer face down unconscious in the park, I probably don't have time to burp before they're rolling in with a fucking helicopter or maybe a tank.
So if you pull any cop, they would tell you that this woman's full of shit. If you make a 911 call and say, I have an injured police officer here, it's an officer down call, and everybody comes, lights and sirens, and go fast to get there.
Any of y'all ever seen one of those happen in your town where all of a sudden every cop car is screaming in one direction? Like all of them?
You even asked by the 911 operator, does anybody know CPR? And your answer was no, correct?
I'd have to listen to it to remember my exact answers.
But it was basically in the negative. No, we're not professionals. We're just out here doing the best we can, correct?
I wouldn't say that, no.
Mom.
You didn't believe Karen Reed knew CPR?
I didn't know. I don't think I answered that question. I don't think it was asked.
You didn't know if Carrie Roberts knew CPR, correct?
I didn't know if they knew CPR, correct?
And none of you were paramedics?
No.
None of you were first responders?
No.
None of you were trained in emergency life-saving techniques in any way, correct?
Correct.
I have a question, Miss McCabe.
There is somebody, though.
On all of Fairview, the entire road between Chapman and Cedar Crest, can you think of any person on that road who might have had life-saving techniques trained?
I can. I know the answer to that one.
Someone who
I know.
with someone in distress.
I know.
Someone with high skill level training. Do you think of anyone on Fairview? who had that kind of
I
training?
can.
Can I now or did I then? Which are you asking?
Did you then?
No, then my focus was on John O'Keefe.
Okay, let me narrow the focus. How about on the property? How about at 34 Fairview? Could you think of anyone that was a first responder who would have life-saving training, life-saving technique training under his belt?
Yes, my brother-in-law, Brian Albert.
Bingo. So all the people out there, none of them were trained. None of them really know what they're doing at that point, maybe prior training, but she knew somebody just a few steps away is highly trained and capable to help them save her very close friend, John O'Keefe, in a very critical time. And she did not go inside and get him.
Doesn't the chief of police also like live across the fucking street? I mean, aren't there multiple cops on this street though? Also,
Why? She didn't want to wake him up. She didn't want to bother him. Why? It doesn't. You cannot give me a good reason why.
When you arrived at the scene, you didn't go in? Not until much later, correct?
Our focus was John.
Brian Albert could help you with your focus, which is John.
my sole focus was doing everything I could for John while standing on my brother-in-law's lawn.
There was not an ounce of this that was believable as far as her thought process was concerned.
You knew that his window was 30 feet away. You're staring at it. You could look at it if you wanted to, correct?
It's off to an angle.
And you didn't go in the house then either.
I did not know.
You knew that John O'Keefe was clinging to life.
I did, yes.
And you also knew that Brian Albert, your brother-in-law, was a first responder trained to deal with people in that kind of distress, correct?
In that moment, my only thoughts were John and everything we could do for John.
And you knew that there were warm blankets inside the house. Is
There
that
you
right?
go, Jackson. I knew you'd get there.
I did, yes. There were warm blankets in the house.
And you
Those
still
weren't-
never went in, did you?
No, I went and attended to John because once I finished calling 911, I went over to John and Kerry Roberts asked me to take over compressions. So I felt like that was more important and 911 was on the way.
911 was in its bedroom upstairs.
I never thought about going in the house. I just thought, how can I help John?
You never thought about
That's wild. She never thought about going. I guess it's possible, right?
You have to be fucking kidding me right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is why this bothered the fuck out of me.
It's possible she never thought about going in the house. That's just hard for me to imagine.
This is infuriating because you cannot tell me I am not running to every single door in sight in that neighborhood to come out and assist in this issue, even if that assistance is getting on the phone to 911 while I go over there and try CPR.
You never thought about going in the house, but you did pull out your cell phone and make 2 phone calls, didn't you?
After I called 911, I tried calling my sister, yes.
While John was out in the cold, clinging to life, you weren't doing...
What now?
25 feet to the front door, walked in the house, and screamed for Brian Albert to come out and help you in those precious seconds and minutes, couldn't you?
That would have taken me away from helping John, getting Kerry blankets, giving him compressions.
And making those 2 very important phone calls at 607 and 608 that you say were not answered, correct?
They were not important phone calls
They weren't coming outside, were they?
because they were asleep.
You didn't know if they were asleep. All you knew was there was a severely injured man on the front lawn of their house, and your sister didn't answer the phone, not once, but twice, correct?
Correct, she didn't answer the phone.
Did you think your sister might have been in peril?
You are in front of your sister's house and there's a dead man on the front lawn. His face and his body looked like he went 10 rounds with Mike Tyson.
I think it's incredibly suspect that they would not walk inside the house that they were in last night. That is her sister's house, where the door is unlocked, where you've called them multiple times that morning already. That makes no sense. That makes no sense to me.
You don't have even a thought that my sister's not, maybe she's dead. Maybe my brother-in-law's dead.
Right.
Maybe
They're
there's
not
a
answering the phone. They're not, all this noise and disturbance out here, and they're not coming out.
Did you think to go
I don't
inside
think
the
so.
house and check that they're okay?
I had no reason to think that they weren't okay.
You had no reason to believe they weren't okay. A man was dead or dying on their lawn, and your sister's not answering the phone.
If you have a cop that's passed away on the lawn and another cop inside and the door is unlocked and they're not coming out and they're not answering phone calls, how would you not be worried about your sister and brother-in-law?
You didn't think there was some reason to believe they could have been in peril?
I didn't, because your client was screaming she hit him. She had a cracked taillight.
Except you
You
said
gotta
you
be
didn't.
Fucking kidding me.
You
Yeah,
said
sorry.
you didn't understand what that meant at this point.
But she's a liar, a proven liar.
You lying sack of crap.
All right, so I want to play this again. So Jackson's starting to get fired up. He's starting to get louder. It's the end of his cross. This is crescendo. This is his big thing to end on.
She was crying she hit him. I didn't, but my focus. Can I finish, please?
You had solved the crime right then and there. You
Oh,
solved the whole
boy.
case.
He is immediately ready with the response, which I thought was a chef's kiss response. So you solved the case, Miss McCabe. You knew it was Karen Reed that moment when you showed up.
She had no reason to think that because she knew what had happened.
Except that goes against everything you've been saying.
You weren't worried about them at all because you knew what really happened, didn't you?
There it is.
At that moment, I didn't know that he was hit by a vehicle and there was taillight found next to him.
To me, that was a major slip up for Jen McCabe to act like that's the reason she didn't go inside, because I solved the case right there. I knew it had nothing to do with the Alberts inside 34 Fairview. I knew right then and there it was Jen McCabe. And we know Michael Proctor did too. Within 24 hours, solved the case.
My BS meter broke. And since it's made in China and the tariffs, I'm not going to be able to get a new one for quite some time.